In 1958, a powerful river pushed back against one of the biggest construction projects in Africa. Floodwaters surged through the Kariba Dam site without warning. Equipment vanished. Workers were carried away. Entire sections of the camp were destroyed. Engineers called it extreme weather. But people living along the Zambezi River believed the river itself had reacted. They believed a powerful force connected to the water had been disturbed, and they warned that the river does not forget. Before the dam existed, the Zambezi River moved freely across a wide valley between what is now Zambia and Zimbabwe. The river flooded seasonally, spreading nutrients across the land. Fish were plentiful. Wildlife gathered along the banks. Communities lived in close connection with the water. Among them were the Tonga people, who had lived in the valley for generations. Their villages were built along the riverbanks. They fished from wooden canoes. They planted crops based on the river's cycles. The river was not just water to them. It was survival. It shaped their movement, their farming, and their traditions. They spoke about a powerful being connected to the river, Nyami Nyami. He was described as enormous, a serpent-like body, a fish-shaped head, a presence tied directly to the river's behavior. He was seen as a protector of the valley. When fishing was difficult, catches would suddenly improve. When the river shifted, people believed guidance was being given. But one warning stayed consistent across generations. The river must not be blocked. According to the belief, deep beneath the water, Nyami Nyami and his partner lived together. If the river's flow were blocked, they would be separated, and separation would bring severe consequences. For generations, the river flowed without interruption. Then plans began that would change the valley forever. In the early 1950s, authorities in the region wanted a large source of electricity. Cities were growing. Mines required power. Industry was expanding. Engineers identified the Zambezi River as a perfect location for a massive hydroelectric dam. The project would generate electricity for both sides of the river. It would also create one of the largest man-made lakes in the world. Construction began in the mid-1950s. Thousands of workers arrived from different regions. Temporary camps were built along the riverbanks. Heavy machines cut into rock. Explosives were used to clear space for concrete foundations. The scale of the project was enormous. Concrete walls began to rise. The river's natural flow started to change. Local elders warned that blocking the river would disturb its balance. They feared the consequences of dividing what lived beneath the water. Most officials dismissed the warnings. They focused on engineering challenges and deadlines. The project continued at full speed. Then the river surged. In 1957, powerful flooding struck the construction site. Water levels rose quickly. Currents became violent. Work platforms collapsed. Machinery was swept away. Workers struggled to escape the fast-moving water. Rescue teams faced major difficulties. Communication systems failed. Access roads were damaged. The following year, in 1958, another flood hit the site, even stronger than before, more destructive. Sections of the construction area were destroyed. More lives were lost. Engineers explained the floods as a result of extreme rainfall and seasonal river pressure. For many local residents, the explanation did not fully answer what they were seeing. They believed the river's guardian was pushing against the barrier, trying to force a path through the structure, trying to reconnect with what had been separated. The belief spread quickly among workers and nearby communities. Some workers became afraid to continue working near certain areas of the river. Stories circulated about unusual movements in the water during storms, whether caused by fear, stress, or belief. The atmosphere around the project changed. Despite the floods and setbacks, construction continued. Eventually, the dam was completed. The valley began to fill with water, forming a massive reservoir now known as Lake Kariba. Many communities were relocated from their original homes as the water rose. The landscape changed permanently. Fishing patterns changed. Wildlife patterns changed. But the story connected to the river's guardian did not disappear. It continued to be shared across generations, not only as belief, but as a reminder about the connection between people and their environment. The story became part of the cultural memory of the region, a way of explaining the power of the river and the impact of major change. Today, the dam provides electricity to surrounding regions. It remains an important piece of infrastructure. At the same time, the story connected to Nyami Nyami continues to be told. For many, it represents respect for natural systems. For others, it represents the importance of listening to local knowledge. Large construction projects can transform landscapes and communities. They can bring development and also create disruption. Stories like this often carry deeper meaning. They remind people that nature operates on powerful forces. They remind us that balance matters. The events at the river are remembered not only for the floods, but for the questions they left behind. The Kariba Dam still stands today. The river still flows around it, and the story connected to its construction continues to be shared. Some see it as history. Some see it as symbolism. Some see it as a warning. What do you think happened at the river? Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more detailed African history and cultural stories, and stay for the next story that explores the past and what it teaches us today. Because every landscape holds memory, and some memories stay with us for generations.